Hello everybody, welcome back into K17 Reactions. I'm Jimmy, your host, and today I'm going to get back inside the rabbit hole. A rabbit hole that I started about 18 months ago when some of you out there recommended that I listen to an artist who I had no idea who he was at the time, and his name is REN. Well, I quickly learned of who REN was, what REN could do, and what he's already done. Excuse me. I know the physical challenges that he's had in his life, the mental challenges he's had. He's just lived a life of somebody who, if they wanted to, could just lay down and roll over and play dead, as opposed to doing what REN's done and fighting through any obstacles that were thrown in his way. So I quickly became a renegade with the rest of you fine renegades out there. And so that's the artist that I'm dealing with today is REN. And recently I went back into his tales and I reacted to the trilogy, and then I just totally blanked on what I watched the other day. It'll hit me. It's Vincent's tale, the prologue, I believe it was. But anyway, regardless of that, I had a few different people in the comments tell me that my next reaction to REN, before I get into Starry Night, should be the Three Nights, Nights, Vincent's Tale, Night 1, Night 2, Night 3. So that's what I am planning on doing. I don't know, looking at the length of these, I will probably do 3 separate videos for the 3 separate nights before I get into Starry Night. But we can kind of just see how it goes and kind of go from there. So if you like what I'm doing here on the channel with both REN and any other artists that I have been able to react to, then please let me encourage you to hit that like button, also comment, subscribe, share it. Every bit of that would be greatly appreciated and would help my channel immensely. So yeah, the other thing I'm going to mention to you is I just recently started a Patreon. The link to it will be in the description. So if you would like to help support the channel from that aspect, that would be greatly appreciated as well. But if you're just here just to try to enjoy watching me watch other things, then by all means, you're more than welcome to do that. So, saying every bit of that, let's get into Vincent's Tale, The First Night. And I'm just going to play it here from the beginning. I don't know if this is something that that this is an actual live stream, and the video starts soon, or if this is actually part of the video. But I'm sure I'll figure that out pretty quick. So here we go with the first part, The First Night.
Baby No Baby with a banger for the weekend. That was Brawl Dog. Alright, we've got a chart-to-chart exclusive now coming in. Some new cat who goes by the name of REN. This one right here is I don't give two fucks. Neither does a virgin.
Starving for some food for thought. I had a way. I'm a student of a melancholy prodigy, catching supernovas falling from the Milky Way.
Is that a human or an angel singing?
Don't shy away. Maybe I'll get high today. I get stuck.
A man has died after being stabbed last night in the shopping district of London Paddington. Police say the victim is 29-year-old Edmund Lockridge, the son of Lord Lucian Lockridge, the billionaire founder of Lockridge Incorporated. The company has been at the centre of several recent controversies, though police have stressed there is no indication at this stage that the attack is connected. A 34-year-old man from Shepherd's Bush was arrested at the scene and remains in custody.
Yes, that's right. Just after 9:30 last night, emergency services were called to this pedestrian strip on Parade Street, Paddington. Witnesses describe a heat altercation followed by Mr. Lockridge collapsing from stab wounds. Vincent Gavon, described by neighbours as quiet and someone who kept to himself, was detained minutes later. Police say they are keeping an open mind on motive, including whether the attack was politically motivated.
In Westminster this afternoon, police and ministers responded to the growing public concern. We take you there now.
At approximately 3:09 this morning, Vincent Gavon was charged with murder. Our deepest condolences go to the Lockridge family. As this is an ongoing investigation, further comment would be inappropriate.
Will this be treated as an act of extremism?
We're keeping an open mind.
Minister, is this a sign of a wider breakdown in public safety?
What happened last night is not just an attack on an individual, but on the values that underpin our society. The Prime Minister will be reviewing measures to ensure crimes of this nature face the toughest possible response.
Thank you, Minister. Lord Lockridge! There have been some accusations that your company's practices...
My son was murdered. That is the truth. That is the only truth. Attempts to justify or rationalize this crime are beneath contempt. And that is all I have to say on the matter.
Okay, that's all for today. Thank you. Thank you.
In an extraordinary turn, the public have been left completely divided. Some of the population see Vincent as a new age devil, whilst others see him as a modern-day hero, striking a blow against the status quo.
I'm stood outside the courthouse, and although officials have described this as an open and shut case, you can see there's clear public divide between support and condemnation for Vincent Gavon. Back to you.
With the suspect now formally charged, the question remains a sign of something deeper in Britain today.
Jesus Christ. What a load of shit.
Compliance. Life without passion is a world without violence. From the same Lockridge Industries laboratories that brought the world's first medication formulated to heal the global economy, Envian. Comply More, a new, groundbreaking series of treatments, is here to change the world all over again. Finally, an alternative to the responsibilities faced in modern-day relationships. Throughout history, human minds have been afflicted with absurd delusions, such as individuality and fairness. Are your children starting to develop their own personalities as they grow? Are you tired of waking up every day and having to pretend to listen to other people prattle on about their right to self-expression? But that can all stop with just 2 easy-to-swallow tablets taken before, after, and during every meal.
Side effects include spontaneous ankle jingling, unexpected emotional flash mobs, mild to severe haunted elbow syndrome, involuntary shadow twitching, temporary loss of the ability to pronounce the letter S, sudden memories from lives you definitely didn't live.
Good evening and welcome to Britannia Speaks, where the nation debates the issues that matter most. Tonight, Vincent Gavon, charged with the murder of Edmund Lockridge. Who is he? It's a tragedy that has sparked outrage, division and a national conversation. On our panel tonight, Sir Douglas Kane, former Chief of Police. We have Dr. Aston Tolliday, political scientist. We have Cassie Blaze, who is an actress, influencer and former contestant on the TV dating show Swipe Right Forever. We have Percy Price, Professor of Psychosurgical Medicine at Cambridge University. So, without further ado, let us go to our first question from the audience.
Thank you. My question is, has Britain lost control of its streets? I work 2 jobs, finish at midnight, and honestly, I can't afford to change my shift, but I don't feel safe. My niece is 14 and won't go out after dark, and all the politicians are just arguing on a Twitter instead of doing, well, anything really. Should we feel safe, or is it over for this country?
Take this one, Sir Douglas.
Yeah, it's quite simple. Britain has gone soft. The people in charge of our legal system now have absolutely no backbone. Now, back in my day, they get punished and punished properly. These days, it seems that you get a TikTok account and some sort of documentary on Netflix. And I'm sorry, but you should be afraid. You really should. The people who run this country are afraid to make any decision in case they offend somebody.
Dr. Tolliday.
With all due respect, it's exactly that thinking.
Yes, it comes from somebody who knows about criminals. This structural inequality does nothing. What are you going to tell me next? That road cones have feelings and emotions?
Actually, what we're seeing is the collapse of social support networks, rising poverty, inequality of wealth.
That's absolute rubbish. People aren't being stabbed because of inequality. They're doing it because they can, and we're letting them.
Let me break this up slightly and bring in Cassie here. What would you say?
Well, I think that... I think maybe you're both right. Like, Sir Douglas here thinks we should be hard, but Dr. Tolliday thinks we should be soft and gentle. I personally think it's nice with a mix of hard and gentle.
Excellent point, Cassie. Yeah, the audience loves it, which brings us to our next question, really. Should Vincent face the harshest punishment, do you think?
Yes, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, let's set an example. Let's be harsh. Let's give him the worst we can do. Let's brand him. Let's publicly humiliate him, whatever needs. We've got to stop people from doing these offences. We've got to make crimes that are as unappealing as possible.
Right. That's medieval. Every study shows that harsher punishment...
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you there. I'm sorry. This study stopped someone from getting murdered in Paddington last night? No. Now, you can make statistics and anything you want as long as you want, but it's not going to stop a blade from going into your gut, and nor is your PhD.
What works is investment in communities.
Oh, yes, brilliant. So welfare handouts to youth clubs so that some of these thugs can do interpretive dance for their feelings.
It's called therapy.
Called a waste of money.
What do you think, Cassie? What would you say?
Well, I don't even know Vincent, but... If it makes everyone feel safer, I think we should just punish him, right? Like...
Off with his head!
The vibes are what's important here, so if he's gonna bring the bad vibes, I think he should do the time, honey.
No, I'm sorry. This isn't about vibes.
Yeah.
This is about dealing with issues systemic.
Final thought on this, Sir Douglas.
Final thought. Lock him up, throw away the key.
Yay! All right, well, that brings us to the final question. What does this all mean for the future of Britain?
Well, it means war. It means war. The public are at danger. We've been wrapped in this sort of bubble wrap. I mean, if it was up to me, I would have the soldiers on the streets right now.
The real war is with inequality.
Vincent is a symptom, not a cause. If we don't address the root cause...
The root cause is if he'd not picked up a weapon and picked up a job application instead.
Well...
I got so involved in that, I forgot that I was actually recording. You know, this right here can easily turn into strictly a political debate. You know, I personally, with just what little I've heard, I personally would agree with the retired police chief as opposed to the other side with the woman who, well, I think it's fair what he says, somebody who's soft. You know, I am all for trying to rehabilitate somebody. I mean, I'm all for that. But there are certain people who do some of these things strictly because they can or because they want to, or they live by some, you know, false sense of security that is, if they have guns, then they're in charge. And, you know, you get all these senseless killings. You know, you've just got to come up with a way to make the public safe, or I should say as safe as possible, because there's no making everybody safe 100% of the time, no matter where they're at. You know, there are just some really bad people out there, and they made the choice in their life to live that kind of a life. Now, I am not one that believes that, you know, if somebody's in jail, they just need to be left there, you know, because they're not going to be any good to society or anything like that. And that, I know, is just not true. I've known a few people who went to jail, went to prison, and actually came out a much better person. You know, I get why they're doing the video like this and so forth. Of course, you got Ren over there dressed up like the doctor, who I have a feeling is going to make his opinion about all this known here shortly in this song. But so far, I like the way it's put together. I think it's a really not only realistic style of video, but actual truth of the way things happen, or the way things have happened. Because, you know, a lot of stuff that I saw when I was a kid was gone by my teen years, replaced with somebody else, with something else. And then everything that happened through my teen years ultimately seemed to be replaced with different set of issues. You know, so it's just you know, I personally believe, call myself a Christian. I try my best to live as well as I can for how the Bible teaches us to live and so forth. But you know, there is going to come a time in everybody's life when decisions are put in front of you, and you have to pick A or B, or A, B, or C, or however many choices it is, depending on what type of subject we're talking about. In this case, you know, I personally believe that when it comes to criminal behavior or potential criminal behavior, that's something that does need to have a close look on it, and really seeing who the person is that is locked up, why they're in there locked up, what do they do with their time while they're in there locked up. There's just so many different things to think about when it comes to people who have gotten in trouble for whatever the reason, whatever the means or the mode. It's that last thought just went out of my mind, but it's probably because it's 12:30 in the morning. I'm trying to record this, but I've been rambling long enough. I do like this video so far. I think it's interesting, and so let's get into it and see if REN's character, the doctor, has anything to say.
I think that we should just be nicer to each other, you know. Like, if we just meditated more, this wouldn't happen, that wouldn't happen. And like, there was this one time where the two guys I was talking to, they found out about each other and it was a right mess. They wanted to have a talk about it. So I just turned my phone off, went to the back garden with a matcha martini and meditated like really hard. And honestly, that solved all of my problems. So
out of time, so I'm going to say thank you to our panel, but also Professor Price, you've been rather quiet sitting there, made a lot of notes. Do you have any insights to share with us?
Yes. You people talk of punishment, yes? Policy, poverty, and whatever it is you're talking about, but crime is not a social issue. No. It is a neurological one. It is a matter of circuitry, misfiring impulses, faulty wiring in the prefrontal cortex. You see, we can punish, yes, and punish and punish. Naughty boy. yeah. But nothing ever changes, right? And why? Because we are disciplining behavior when we could simply repair the machine. You, sir, would you imprison or jail a lamp simply for flickering? No, of course not. It would be preposterous, it would be absurd. You would simply acquire a new bulb. Well, Vincent is a broken lamp, and I have a new light bulb.
Well, you heard it here first. With that, it is good night from us.
Look, we haven't even had a proper debate.
We'll see you all same time next week. Join us then. Good night.
All right. Well, like most of REN's work, I can see what he was trying to get across there, and I believe I agree with him if I've gotten it right. But I think basically, number one, there is no one fix it all and make it all right rule, because people are different. Everybody's different. What may work for me will not work for you. What may work for the gentleman in that video may not work for the lady, the main one he was debating in there, because there's so much complexity. Now, there's simple things we can think of. There's simple things just like being kind. being caring, being concerned, being there. You know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this in the sense that I believe that the entire human race can be that way. You know, that you can take somebody off of one of the most hardened street gangs in the middle of whatever big city USA you want to, and you know, there's certain people that just their minds are so far gone with the desire to be in a certain position that they're just not going to, you know, do anything to help the situation. And, you know, not to get too far off into everything, but, you know, the first 2 years of life are when a lot of these things are planted in our children. You know, very rarely is it a kid who grew up in the absolute perfect household with perfect parents and perfect living situations and perfect siblings and all these perfect things out there. But, you know, you never know what goes on behind those closed doors. And, you know, there's just some people that simply coming up with a plan for them is going to fix everything. But again, I'm drifting a little too far off from the topic of this. Just like with most things REN has put out, I really enjoyed this. I thought the concept the premise for this video, I think it did a really good job in preparing us for the next one. And again, you know, if you've listened to his other tales up until now, and then, you know, just a number of his hits, you know, he is a very deep thinker. He has just an incredible mind, in my opinion, about topics that are important, and that's really not the word I was trying to think of there, but, you know, with concepts and so forth that will help people out, help individuals out. And so anyway, again, I'm rambling again. I apologize. I tend to do that some when I am very tired. So I'm just going to go ahead and end it right there. A lot of you will be happy about that. But let me just encourage you, like I always do, you know, if you're dealing with any mental health issues, whether it be major depressive disorder, PTSD like I have, or maybe it's being OCD, or, you know, issues with bipolar, whatever the case may be, please know that you are not the only one going through this. And therefore, there are other people out there who know what you're going through, or at least have a very good idea of what you're going through, and they care about you. They are concerned about you. They love you, and they will help you. Because with most of these mental health issues, you're not going to figure it out on your own. Not saying that's impossible, but it always helps having somebody there with maybe more knowledge of a particular situation, or, you know, from a different aspect, can see things differently. That's with a lot of the stuff I've done. You know, I'll have an idea of a topic to go over, then I'll turn around and I'll find somebody else who has similar stuff and just say, oh, wow, you know, I can look at this particular situation from multiple angles and figure out what's best for the situation, what's best for the people involved, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to leave it right there. You know, again, if you have any issues, please know that there are people out there who love you, who care about you, and who will help you. Just got to find the people, and because they are out there. Until next time.